Hey everyone, Chandler here, and in light of Valentine's Day, I thought it would be a good idea to make a video about transgender relationships. As much as people like to say like, oh well it's no different than dating any other person, like all love is the same love, there are differences, but the thing is that's okay. It's good to have differences, but it's definitely very important to talk about the differences and express them in a way so that people can avoid awkward situations or uncomfortable situations. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the experience of dating a transgender person. So when I say trans relationship, I mean a relationship in which at least one person in the relationship is trans. So if you perhaps are a cis person dating a trans person, one of the most important things to know is body dysphoria. Now, body dysphoria is different for every trans person. And also the levels that which we experience body dysphoria is different. So like some trans people can have extreme levels of body dysphoria, and then some transgender people can have very minimal levels of body dysphoria. But no matter what, it's very important to talk about body dysphoria prior to anything in the relationship. So this can be a very big deal in a sexually active relationship, because like I said, body dysphoria is different for every trans person. So say you have a trans boyfriend, he could have very bad body dysphoria with his chest. And so I know that with a lot of trans guys, something that they do in relationships is they keep their binder on during like sexual activities. So that's very important to know if you're dating a trans guy, is to know what are his levels of comfort with his chest. So like knowing levels of comfort is extremely important in every relationship, but body dysphoria is pretty key to transgender relationships. So it's very important to talk it out with your partner to know what exactly their body dysphoria entails and how to navigate that so that you don't accidentally make your partner uncomfortable or anything. Another very important thing that I want to mention is bodily functions. Say your trans boyfriend is on his period, his menstrual cycle. It's very important to know that this is kind of a hard time. It's one of those situations where it can spark a lot of gender dysphoria and body dysphoria, because it can honestly make a person feel bad about their body. And so it's very important that if the person you're dating is on their period, to really try and affirm their identity and say like, hey, like plenty of people get their periods. And so it's just very important, it's a very critical time to really affirm your transgender partner's identity. Now, with that being said, there's also the aspect of dating someone who is non-binary like myself. So one thing that you really want to talk about and communicate to your partner is you want to know how to refer to them. Like if you're dating a non-binary person and they're not comfortable with the girlfriend-boyfriend terms, then it's very important to talk with them beforehand and see like, okay, well, what would you like to be called? How would you like me to refer to you? It's very important to like talk those things out so that you don't offend your partner or make them uncomfortable in any sort of way. So it's very important to talk about all these things beforehand. You don't want to like awkwardly say something that could potentially out them if they're not ready to come out. Knowing how to like avoid words so that you don't like spark their gender dysphoria, but at the same time you don't accidentally out them. So I think it's very important to like know how to navigate a conversation and try to avoid words if you're the person that you're dating is not out, and also to not ignite some sort of gender dysphoria. And another thing that I would like to mention is when dating someone, if you are trans, then it can be a lot different of a sort of like a perception that there's like a different dynamic. So if you're a trans person and you're dating a cis person, it's definitely important to have trans friends around you, because even though the person that you're dating cares about you and cares about your happiness, they might not understand exactly how you're feeling. So like say you're having body dysphoria someday or some gender dysphoria or something, and you really want to talk about it, it's very important to have trans friends by your side, because if you're dating a cis person, they might not get it. And though they care a lot and they'll be willing to listen, they won't really be able to offer you good advice because they don't experience it. Also, if you're a trans person dating another trans person, it's very important to talk about the levels of body dysphoria between the two of you. So say your levels of body dysphoria are different from the person that you're dating. So you definitely want to talk those things out so that you know not to overstep their boundaries, but also make your own boundaries clear so that they don't overstep those. And I think honestly the most important part of any sort of relationship is communication. So definitely talk it out about body dysphoria, talk it out about gender dysphoria, talk it out about if they're in the closet and what exactly you should refer to them as in certain situations, and how you should act in certain situations so as to not out anyone or misgender anyone, and comfort levels and boundaries. So if you like this video, please click like, and you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram. I'll also leave my Facebook, my Snapchat down below. So I'll also put the address to my P.O. box in case you want to send me something. And yeah, so thank you very much for watching this video. Bye! See, these are the things you miss when I can cut out video parts, like when I'm editing and I can cut out just like the long pauses and the ums.